All right, now is the core of this class. Combo, attack, action. How do we do this? We go from nothing to the final product. I think it's like 4 or 5 parts. First, we're going to go in setting up the scene and the blocking. I mean, the main key poses. Then the blocking with how do you in between, each in between, how you think about the turns, etc. Then we're going to go into a full polish spline process. And then we're going to add some effects, some background, and some cameras. And we're going to have a whole talk on cameras. So all these steps are very important, but you can see how they bring each one something really cool about your shots. All right, let's dive in. So, first, you bring in the character. To bring in your character, same as I taught in the first intro video, you bring it by doing a reference. I also brought in the reference with 2 swords in here, so I have the swords in there. You can use ZV Parent if you want to parent the swords. For that, you can go to the parenting thing that I showed where you can use ZV Parent or Animbot. For this demo, I'm going to keep using Animbot Pro version. But if you don't have the Pro version, you have only the Echo version, then what I would say is use ZV Parent to parent your swords. Okay, I think both are very easy, but what I think about which one you'd like to do best. So in a shot like this, you want to create a camera, a reference camera, as I call it. So I'm going to call a new perspective here, and I'm going to call it ref cam. Remember, we talked about this at the beginning, having a reference camera. It's very important. So you want to create that extra camera to be able to set up your scene. This is where you're going to put um, some of your action. In this case, I have 2 cameras. I'm going to have a side and a front. So I'm going to create another camera as well, which will have that front view on those references too. Then in terms of the swords, what you're going to want to do is, as I was mentioning with Animbot here, you're going to be able to create a simple control here on your sword. With that simple control, you go to the temp control panel. You can see it's down there, and you're going to create another one under it. Okay, that's the one that you're going to animate. The other one is the one that you're going to parent. So you grab this control to move the sword, and that's the one that you will put with the hand once you are in your posing in there. So for the aspect ratio of this, etc., I always like to still get at least a 1080p in terms of the resolution of my camera. I want it to be anti-alias, so it's nice. Here in general, I don't show anything. I don't even show the manipulators. So it's just the camera in there, and then with Alt 2 and Alt 4, you get the reference or the character. For the reference, I'm going to use reference importer as we've seen again in the first class. I'm not going to go over this again. Okay, so let's go directly to the first thing setup. So from I'm going to show you first how to get this pose at least, but there we have the setup with the 2 references, one there, one there. I have here 2 camera, a front cam with this reference there, and a side cam with this reference here. Okay, and the reference and her are about the same size. And when I look at both front and side, you can see how they're at the same size. And when I look here, it goes together. So I'm going to show you how do I get this pose as my first thing. First thing first, the way that you angle this this control here. You can see how it's angled by usually where it's turned. You see the character. Okay, so in this case, the character here goes forward the whole time, right? In TZ, he comes towards us from the side. He keeps on going forward. So all this has this movement of keep that momentum this way. So for this, I need to have only one axis going this way. Like if you turn this 45-degree, then to be able to go forward, I will have to use 2 axes at the same time on the body to be able to move him. When I move it, like this, you can see how it changes 2 axes now instead of just one. When it's like this, and it goes this way. You can see how the TZ here is moving like that. So it's important, even if the pose is like this, not to change that this way and then rotating the feet out like this. If you do that, again, your TZ here will be angled towards that. So when I move this in TZ only, it's not going in the right direction, so you will have two direction to animate. So it's very important that when you pose your character, your TZ stay this way, and this is what defines in which way your TZ is going. Okay. So in there, what I would do is rotate this and rotate each feet, which yes, takes a lot more time, but it's the way to go. So then here I'm thinking about each reference. You know, how much does he go in and where is that in height? So it's somewhere more here on the front, here from the side. That's cool. This one is more forward there. This one is a little bit more back. You can see as well where it lands compared to here. So here it lands somewhere more there. Then with her, I used the IK twist. On the latest version, as I mentioned in the previous class, you can have, I mean, in the intro of the class, you can have this. This as well, I think is a little bit more out. Voilà. And then we go about angles. So here I have no no chest, no nothing, just the body. Okay, and here I'm going to check on a little bit of this, definitely some of that. You can see here. Tack. So is this, in terms of how it's turned, it's good. And then I use just the chest, this chest here. The upper chest I will use only in RX and RZ, as I mentioned, as you will see in this demo, and as you've seen in the demo of the parkour. And here I'm going to twist this one a little bit to get it to feel like it opens up slightly this way. Okay, this leg is slightly more turned like that. Up. Then you can see my arms there in FK, and they're actually in world space. Here it's aligned. The pose on these, I even spend some times in making it be good. Okay, so I really spend some time on all the pose in here. The only thing I didn't do in all of this is facial, because again, this is about mechanics. But for all the rest, it's funny, I'm gonna get the same pose. And so here I look at the angle. Where is the bicep? It's going up. Then this one is bent like this. Then my hand is rotated here. And the sword here is parented to the hand. Just very simple. Like this. Here I don't like to have the manipulators. In here, so the neck as well is going to play a big part. The neck, I move it to place the head in the right position compared to what I see. I also like to reduce the neck on her and those characters. They are a little long, so most of the time I push a little less. And then here I check as well on the shoulders. I feel like she's too turned actually right now, so this would be more like that. And the head is more down, like this, like this. Oops. Well, and I think even the knee here should be more in. And I tend to prefer to use the IK twist because it's only one control versus the three here. Okay, then more on the posing of the arm. And I can spend hours and hours on like the arm, the hands, and all these kind of things. So there you have, let's say, the first pose. Okay. So let's keep going. So I'm just going to keep that as my first pose. Once you've done it, it was mainly to talk to you about the TZ and the fact that it's this way. So then I'm going to go to my second key pose, which is going to be this pose here where he stays for a little bit. And then it's going to be this pose here where he stays a little bit. Okay, and then from there we're going to do that pose here before he moves up, so somewhere in here, then this one here before he goes down, then this one here, and then that one in this pose, and then this pose there. So those are my main key poses. So let's go with this first one and let's do it fully so you see how we go and how do I deal with these poses. So I'm gonna do it at 16. I think that's the most that's the biggest one in there. So here I put a key on everything. I grab my body and both of my feet, and I go from here from the side cam, and I'm going to move it forward and check with the ref how much forward it goes. So something like this. Then I'm going to go here and I'm going to go check, and actually you can see how it moves to the side from there to there. So I'm going to take the TX of those. Oops. I'm going to go with the world then. I'm in world space, perfect. And so I'm going to do this, poof, like that. It moves to the side. And you can go to the front here if you want to see on your front cam, just to see how much and if it's good or not. Okay, so like this, you know that you're going in the same direction. Then it goes down fully for sure in here. So here it goes like really down, and same you can go to the side camera if you want to check how high he is. And then he turns a lot, so this goes like this. Let me see if I have that set up. I've set this up, remember, is about the arms or the head or these kind of things, so I don't need to actually see it when I do my posing at the beginning, so it can be simpler to see just the body in there, for example. So this, and I can see the chest here is what rotates after that. This here is about right, you know, compared to her in terms of where is the belt, where is the butt, etc. On the torso, however, I think you see a lot more of the back here. So I would say something like this in here. Then in terms of the angles of the feet, it's important that you check what happens here. So here the feet come slightly out, I think, still. The knee as well gets and twists this way. Oops, I have both. And twist this way. Tack. For the other one over there and here, let's see if that's, yeah, that seems okay. I like this angle, and this one to be about the same. So I think for that it's good. For the back one here, so here it rotates. What I like to do with Animbot is getting that temporary pivot on the front of the foot. So I get it to actually pivot more from the front of the foot. I don't know why. Wait. Something like this. So like that, you know, I can do things like these and it helps me. However, here he goes inside. So after you can just up, get back to your normal thing, and it gets on the inside. Here I can see this gets some ball roll, so a ball roll, and then I can see as well to use some toe here roll to help in getting similar angles. I'm going to go more ball roll, something about like this. And then you check the angle of this, and this one is not the same, so for that I would just push it back to get to the same angle. Bam. starting to get angle correct. And then I will just go down with this like that, and then using the twist of the leg inside. After, one thing that is cool is the bendies here, these controls there. You know, that helps you in making it a little bit straighter. And there, and even there sometimes to get a tiny bit of the shape that I see in the ref. Something like this. All right, now I'm going to get back the arms and the head. So for that front arm, I'm just grabbing it and moving it this way. And the hand is what rotates up there. So here the hand goes into something like this. You can show the blades. Up. Up the head as well. Let's rotate it this way and that way, like this. The neck is really forward in there, so in this case, by the way, you can see how I'm only moving. What's going on there? I didn't move the right control, I think. You see how I'm moving only the chest here in rotate Y, no rotate X, no rotate Z. I mean, this was in the first pose. No hips, just the body. Guys, again, just the body and the neck for these poses. Okay, so here for the angle that I see there, I'm going to use the body. For the angle that I'm seeing there, I'm going to use the body. Okay, so all these is what will make then the reference and this feeling the same. All right, so here, then I use the clavicle. If I need, for example, for this one to be a little higher, like I see in the ref, tack. Let's do the other arm because we haven't done it. Now I'm going to make this go down a lot. There. So here, I'm not really careful about, being in gimbal. I prefer to be in object space like this. It's easier for me to move, the controls. Now, if you are worried or about like how it's going to look, or if it's going to do a lot of weird rotation, you can always check it as you do your in between. But I think here it's going to be, yeah, actually maybe it does actually a weird rotation already, even though it should be pretty simple. So let's see if I keep that the same. What you can do, by the way, then you can put yourself in gimbal when you select the arm. So you want to see your axis in like maybe in this. When you click on there, then you see you get the axis. So if I click on here, I see the gimbal on this new scene here. I don't know why it's not doing it. You see when I click, it doesn't show. Sometimes Maya does that, but me, I don't know why it does it. But here's, I think I would use that. And yeah, I think it needs to be a bit of both. So, and there, get that, and then I think the in-between would make it work. Yeah, not as much as this. But well, that would work better. But you see, by being in spline, even if you're just working on your poses like that, you can see if your movement is going to be okay in there or not. So let me keep going in that posing aspect of things. So for the hand, I try to keep it always in the alignment there. I don't like when there is too much of this or of this. I tend to really try to keep it very straight and very locked as much as I can. In this one here, I think it rotates more than that. this. Boom. And I think here the head as well could be a bit more pushed into the body. Then let me check in terms of the movement of the body from here to here. So here it's a bit too much, as you can see. So I'm reducing slightly this. I think the leg here could be slightly more out. Maybe a tiny bit more out this way too. And same with the other one over there. And the knee a bit more in. And I think here then after, you know, you can do a tiny bit less and then the head so it feels not bad. All right, once I'm happy with this, grab and I'm going to the next one, which is that. So I'm going to put a key there. All right, so here, same thing. I'm going to hide the arms. I'm going to hide the blades. And the body here rotates back fully. Like here, it comes towards us this way. The chest here rotates fully over there. It's a bit too much. I really like to keep that angle very simple. So yeah, here it's a bit too much. Tack. Here what happens, as you can see, is from there to there, it pulls this way. It's normal. It's because when you rotate this way forward in the body is going to come back like this to allow that to counter. I'm going to do that little thing in the foot there. I like those little changes. You will see that I've kept them, and it's what's create as well a little bit of like the realisticness of things. And I think it's forward as well that it moves. Yeah, you can see that forward motion. Tack. For the other leg, it fully turns again. So this one now is fully on the floor. So I'm going to get back on the roll aspect and this one, and I can use, you know, the temporary pivot that I did earlier to actually create that thing that he does there. The good thing with this is like that it pins it, and then I'm just going to rotate it, to translate it just to get the same as the ref. As you can see in the ref, it still goes a little forward this way when it does that. And here, let's see. Yeah, it comes a bit more that way. And same with the body in here. I think the body goes a bit this way. I'm going to go to the side cam. Yeah, you can see it going slightly this way. For the knee in there, it goes more inside, obviously. So a little IK twist, boom. This one here is not as much. So same thing, little IK twist. And then here you can see how the spine is a little bit bent. A little bit. It is bent, but I don't want to overdo it. So I like to use this little hip here control. Okay. So I'm going to create a key on it. And so in here, it will have the rotation happening. And then in the top, I will use this one. So this is the first RX I'm doing, guys. The first one. And here I would actually go a little bit back. That's it. Okay, that's enough for me in here. I don't need to go more than that. Yes, I could, but I think with what we're going to create is going to be enough. Well, I'm going to push a tiny bit more. And I use these three controls, okay, always. So for the head here, it goes like this. The neck is like here, and here it's like she's looking a little bit that way. And you can see again how simple everything I'm doing, and the shape here is mainly coming again. If I reset these guys, that's the only thing that I moved, it doesn't change that much. Okay, the main angle is still the body. Okay, so these things should not be the main driver for these kind of things. All right, so here I still feel something's not right in terms of that, so I'm going to push a little bit of that leg further up so that here it doesn't feel quite as broken, and I'm going to rotate it more as well in Y this way and a little less in the IK twist. Yeah, that feels better. I think here I'm a little too far in the body rotation. And I'm going to do a little more in the chest. And so the neck will get influenced a bit. Let's bring back the arms and the blades. And so from there, it goes to this way. So I'm going to start with this guy here. Let's make it better than this. Where is it? So I'm going to use up. So yeah, this way, the RZ simple, then a bit of that, up, and then this here, and then the hand, I can see in the alignment of all that. I'm going to keep going with it. Hopefully it goes well, which it does. It's perfect. And same with the other one. So the other one is over there, and it rotates this way. So I'm going to use it to rotate this way. This one here is fully boom. And the hand in there, I think, would go a bit more down, a bit more this way. Let's see if it goes in the right way. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so let's keep going now that we are almost there. Still this FK hand here rotates more like this. Then a bit of the clavicle here to help the deformation. Not too much, but a bit. Same with the back one. A bit back, a bit this way, just to help with the deformation. It's a little less bent, I think.